Hello and salut everybody. So guys, I am back. Um I want us to talk about something today. I don't know how, depending on what what side you are on or what is going on, you're going to take this differently. But I have been hearing a lot of complaint about husbands, bad husband, no good husbands, men who are just misbehaving, not doing the right things. You don't seem to be doing the right things. And sometimes, yeah, you're not doing the right thing. And it's just women getting discouraged and talking about, terrible husbands, bad husbands, everything that is going on. And, every day, as you know me, you hear about the Kanguka being my the podcast that I breathe and live. Every day I hear testimonies, tens and tens and tens of testimonies every day. And just goodness. I see goodness in the world. I see goodness. I hear, testimonies of good people and good husbands and good wives and, mostly. So hearing this around me, I figured that it's probably going with you too. Maybe you already feeling the same way. Maybe you already seen it around you. So today, I just want us to I want to give some testimonies, give some examples to give you hope, to tell you that not all husbands are bad. You know what I mean? Not all husbands are no good husbands. To tell you that yes, even today, 2025, there are still good husbands out there. There are still good people, and at the end of it, we're going to see what those good husbands have in common. All right. But until then, I want to welcome you to Chatty Wonoko. Welcome to Chatty Wonoko. If you have not subscribed, do me a favor, subscribe right now, share this video, like, and also check out the rest of the videos. Thank you very much for joining me. I am super grateful for you, for me, and I thank you for listening to me. I thank you for sharing this video, and I thank you for sending your comments as well. All right, I am just so grateful for you and I, because we got a chance to breathe today. This is my second video for the day. So we're talking about husbands. You ladies out there who are complaining about your husband, calling your husband no good husband, just the sperm donors, just don't seem to see your man's or your husband's doing the right things, and just complaining, just getting discouraged out there. This video is to do multiple things. First, it is to encourage the husband. It encourages the husband, push them, give them motivation to change, to do the right thing, to be good husbands, and also to you ladies, to also encourage you that there are husbands out there who are still good husbands, to have hope, not to give up on your husband, and to continue to pray for your husband. And those of us who are not married, I want to encourage us to have hope, um, not to let all the negative complaints that we hear from our family members, our friends, discourage us from wanting and expecting our own husbands. All right. So, three things, right? First is to encourage husbands out there, giving them the push, the encouragement, and give them the motivation to be a better husband. And the second is for you, wives, to show you that there is still hope. There are still good husbands out there, and all you need to do is to pray, accept who they are, be a good wife to them, and pray for God to transform them, God to change them, and not to give up. And third, for us who are single, because most of the time we who are single, I know I hear people, just because they hear stories about their sister's husband, their friend's husband, in their neighborhood, in their environment, in their family, they decide that, what, there's no good husband, I'm not going to get married, I'm not going to be faithful. So we are losing hope. So it is for the husband and for the wives and those who are seeking to be married. And those of you who are young, single man, I want to also encourage you to be a better husband through these examples. All right. So, like I said, I'm not going to go back because I don't want to go to the bad. I want to give you encouragement. I want to give you an example. The first example, a woman, a woman, married woman, she had cancer, terminal rectum cancer, and she could not, the cancer was terminal. It was terminal. She could not hold her poop. I know it is nasty, but it is the reality, is the truth. She could not hold her urine. She was literally terminal. It's like she was pooping on herself, peeing on her because she couldn't hold it. It's a terminal cancer. This is the woman who is completely almost, her intestine almost falling. That's how terrible it was. But do you know her husband still calling her chérie? Do you know what chérie is in French? Honey, sweetie. Her husband still referring to her as chérie. My honey, my sweetheart, my baby, my one and only. Think about that for a second. You have your wife. Your wife gotten so sick. She's smelling poop and urine. She can't move. You still calling her sweetheart, honey, baby. You still calling her chérie. Think about that for a second. Because I hear people will say, oh, just because, I have a baby, I gain few pounds. My husband does not touch me anymore. Just because, my child have, some vomit on me, my husband doesn't touch me anymore. I'm just giving the simplest examples. I gotten weight and, this and this, I have an accident, I have something is wrong with my foot, or, some people are, they have accident, they can't move anymore, or whatever. You turn off, the husband turn off, or the wife turns off. Think about this image. A woman in that condition, her husband still calling her sweetheart. In her poop, in your urine, the husband is still considering her his sweetheart. So you, man, think about that for a second. And think about your situation right now with your wife. Whatever your situation, your wife situation is right now, and you are getting, what is it? Discouraged. I'm gonna use that word, discouraged, and you are getting turned off of your wife. Think about this position. Think about, the things are turning you away from calling your wife honey, sweetheart right now, and compare it to this situation. See what I mean by this is to give you a boost. This is to encourage you, to turn you into seeing, recognizing, and remembering, the reason why you are married, your vows. To death do you apart, for better, for worse. I'm just reminding you that. So second example. This woman, they were going to get married, and they have to do tests. They have to do HIV tests, all the tests. They have to do all the tests. That's what happens when you get married. They ask you guys have to do tests and make sure that, somebody's not carrying some kind of disease or whatever. So they went and done tests. Then the man came out clean. The woman came out with HIV positive. Yes, HIV positive. They have not met. They have not, they have not gotten married. This is before they get married. The woman is HIV positive. Now she's freaking out. She's like, there's no way, my life is over. There's no way I'm going to get married now. My chances are over. I'm never going to get married. And she was honest enough. The husband saw, and the husband was like, and she was afraid. She was crying. The husband like, I'm still going to marry you. She said, what? How are you going to marry me? Are you going to marry me and then have another woman and sleeping with another woman? Are you going to? No, he said, I'm going to marry you. I'm going to marry you, you alone. And she was, her mind was blown. This man said, yes, I'm going to marry you anyway. And that's not it. even through the exams and everything, because she has to get tested and do more things and get what do you call it, get treatment. Through all of that, they found out she can't even have a child. She's barren. She can't have babies. And she was like, okay, now I know it's over for me. But the man still says, no matter what the doctor says, no matter what you have, I have chosen you to marry you. I'll still marry you. And he married her. He married her with the HIV positive. He married her knowing that the doctor said she will never have kids. She married her anyway. Some of the examples that I have, the life stories, a woman loses a child having a miscarriage. The husband leaves her already, like they don't want her anymore. They blame her for losing a child. They can't have a child, they move on. You can't, there's so many negative things that we hear. And when you hear stories like this, you're like, Nicole, you making it up. No, I'm not making it up. I can play these testimonies for you to hear yourself, just like I did it last time. So even though she was HIV positive, she could not have children, because this was his wife, he married her anyway. So I am saying this, there's so many examples I can say, but I don't want the video to go longer. But I'm saying this to encourage all the men out there who are misbehaving, all men out there, that if something little bit happens, you turn off of your wife, you forget for better and for worse, you forget, till death do us apart. We forget our vows, and then all my sisters are crying and complaining about how terrible and all of this. I am just giving, this is to encourage you not to give up so soon, not to focus on the way your wife looks or the way what she says and what she does not say, to look at the whole picture, who she is, the reason why you marry her, for better and for worse, and to encourage you to change. No matter what is going on, no matter how your wife changes, because we are women, hormones, our body changes. She's not going to look the same as she was 25. When she is 45 now, she's going to change. So to encourage you that no matter how she changes, no matter what happens in her body, she's still your honey. She's still your chérie. She's still your sweetheart. She's still the same woman that you married. And if there's something that needs to be done, encourage her, talk to her, so that you guys can work it out together. And she can still be your honey until death do you apart. So this is an encouragement for you to think about this woman, his wife, poop and urine, and still calling her honey, sweetie, still being there with her every step of the way until she got healed. You know what I mean? And this woman, how, no matter what, because he chose her. He said, this is you. You are my wife. No matter what you come with, no matter what baggage you have, you are my wife. We are going to get through it. And he was the one encouraging her, praying with her, and taking her to the doctor, getting her treatment and everything. Imagine, it's not that they've been married years. The first one, they've been married for years and this happened. This one, they are entering in the relationship with HIV positive and the news that she will not have a baby. He's still there with her, and they got into the marriage through this and walking through this through prayer and being there for one another. So these are just the two examples I want to use to encourage you men out there, husbands out there, to change the way your mentality, the way you see your wife, and what is important to you about your wife. It cannot be physical things. So we have to think about the promise we made to God. The promise that we made to our wives, the promise that you made that day, it is not physical. You did not just marry her for her eyes and her lips and her hands and her hair. You marry her completely. So no matter what comes, no matter what is going on, you have to be there. Thick and you have to be there till the end. So I want to give you a boost today. And ladies, I want to encourage you to not give up on your husbands and not complain. Stop complaining, but pray for them. Pray for them. Pray for them. Pray for God to help them and change their mentality. Still submit to them, still do your part as a wife, and pray and expect God to help them change the way they should change and help God to take complete control. And also, some of us who are not married, I want you to see these things and know that there are still good men out there. There are still good men out there. I don't want you to give hope, to lose hope, and to give up. There are still good men out there. So you still would. And those of you who have not, your young men who have not been married, I want this for you to see that you are not just, you shouldn't be marrying just for the physical. Marry for the heart, marry for the right reasons. And the commonality that I want to use for these two men, the one thing that is in common with these two men that made them this kind of husband is God. They are God-fearing men. The two of them are God-fearing men because they were praying, they were fasting, they were helping, they fear God. That's why I have always encouraged that when you are choosing a wife, choosing a husband, you have to pray. God has to choose that man for you. God has to choose that wife for you. It has to be coming from God. It has to be God's choice for you. If it is God's choice for you, then you will not be saying that, oh, she's sick. I'm just going to go to the next wife, the next woman. If God chose it for you, if God chose this man for you, you will not just say, okay, no, that man will be perfect for you. That man will be there for you. That woman will be there for you. So the commonality in these men, these testimonies that I see, that I listen to, that I hear, that I watch, is God, the fear, God-fearingness in them. They believe in God, they trust in God. And they are God-fearing men. That's why I'm always encouraging that through our marriages, to our relationship, we should have God be in the middle, in the midst of it. We should ask God, I love this woman. God, is it for me? Is this woman for you? Is this the woman you chose for me? This is the man you chose for me? And when God says no, accept it. And God says, no, that's not the man. That's not the woman. And God break up the relationship, accept it. Accept it. And know that God has somebody else for you. God is telling you that's not him. So this whole thing, it is, besides from the encouragement for all of us, I also want you to keep in mind these are the reason why we have to seek God permission. We have to seek God's view. God view has to overweight our views. What if you are in a relationship, if you are going into a relationship, what does God say about this man, this woman for you? So I know I'm going to come back and build on this, and I'm coming right back to talk about, standards right here, because I don't want to carry on. I wanted to do it on this video, but I'm going to come back. I'm going to come back and finish up with standards on the next video. But until then, I hope this makes sense to you. I hope this makes sense. If it doesn't, I want to hear from you. If it confuses you, I want to hear from you. If it makes sense, I want to hear from you. Whatever you feel about this video, I want to hear from you. So I want you to share with everyone you know. Subscribe to the channel if you have not subscribed already. And also check out the rest of the videos. But until then, stay safe and blessed. And I'll see you right on the next one.